Welcome. Let's reset. All right. Hey guys, Stacy Cook broadcasting live via YouTube as well as TikTok. We're working on resetting our nervous system. So if you're joining today, thank you for joining. Please share this live if it calls to you. We're simply talking about something incredibly important that's easy for you to do, and if you don't do it, who will? We're resetting our nervous system. In short, we're finding calm, we're finding peace, we're finding our joy. And what we're doing, I'm a licensed therapist. And again, I'm going live on both TikTok, YouTube, simply sharing ways to calm and slow down our nervous system. Meaning, we deserve to feel better. You deserve to feel less stress, less anxiety, less tension. And here's the thing, the outside world, it is what it is, and things are going to go on. Things are going to go wrong. There are going to be pressures. And that's something that we can't directly manage. But what we can manage is our internal operating system. We can manage and control and slow down our nervous system. So, I want to talk to you today specifically about that and a couple things. One, you can, of course, follow me here. You can go to my profile and click the link in my bio, and you'll find me on YouTube where I'm also recording and I record longer videos there. Of course, you could find me here on TikTok. You could find my website. I'm a licensed therapist, and my goal is simply to share the tools that I've learned, that I've developed over many years. Not only am I a therapist, I'm also somebody who I'm 53. For many years of my life, since I was a young person, I have managed anxiety. And I've learned how to do that successfully. And I wanted to share that with all of you. Certainly, there's always a place for whatever treatment works for you, but I wanted to share what works for me. So if you're on YouTube or you're on via TikTok, please, if you know somebody who could take advantage of and who needs to slow down, find peace and calm and learn how to manage their anxiety and their nervous system, please share this live. I'm going to share tools with you that don't work just in this room, but that you can take with you and use anytime. You can use them in the course of your workday, school day, at home. So, I want to talk about the importance of why we want to learn to slow down our nervous system, learn to bring the temperature down or dial down where we're at emotionally. If you can picture the speedometer in your car, when you're going fast, and that needle is all the way into the red zone or it's in overdrive, eventually any system gets worn out, it gets tired, it gets overused. And that's what happens to us. When we are high stress, highly emotional, highly overwhelmed, highly stressed, our system does exactly what it was designed to do, to protect us. And when it determines that there's a threat, guess what happens? All of those hormones that help us to fight, to flee, to freeze are activated. And when there's a real threat, that's great for that to happen. But the problem is that oftentimes that overshoot of cortisol, of those hormones, that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, it continues way after the threat has passed. And that's not good for our system. It's not good for our body. So we know it's not good for us emotionally. It's not good physically. Being in a place of overwhelm and system and our nervous system overdrive is it lowers our immune system. It can lead to other diseases like high blood pressure and diabetes, and can really lead to things that otherwise we can help to manage by simply learning how to dial down or tune in and tune our own nervous system. So, for instance, something I want to share with you that you can do anytime is coming back to breath, breathing. If you notice, think about the last time that you were very upset, overwhelmed, maybe rushing back and forth to get things done from one place to the next, or maybe it was an argument with your spouse, with a coworker, with anybody. Remember what that felt like, what it felt like to get that up there on a scale of 0 to 100. What happens is we're typically not breathing deeply. We're not getting enough breath. And what happens when we're breathing from a more shallow place, or we're engaged in shallow breathing, what happens is it tells our nervous system that there's a threat and that we're in trouble. So the first thing that you can do with little thought at all is simply take a breath. Put your hand on your belly and take a deep breath and feel everything expanding from the inside out. When you take this much needed breath, it cues and it communicates with your nervous system that you are safe. By breathing, simply breathing, that's the first step to make a huge change, is coming back to breath. It's easy. These are the things that frequently are forgotten. We don't realize, and we become so used to not breathing deeply or being in a very anxious, exhausted, and overwhelmed state, that we unfortunately get very used to that state and we forget that we're not breathing deeply. We're not getting much needed oxygen to our brain and to our system. This is the lifeblood of our nervous system and our body. So, coming back to breath is the start. If you can do that just to slow things down, once you get that breath, take a few belly breaths. Again, hand on your belly, feeling when you inhale, your hand should be rising because you're taking in that air and you're expanding on all levels. The next thing that you can do after your breath is simply feel where you are, where you're sitting, where you're standing. And what I mean by that is notice what it feels like to be supported by the chair that you're sitting on, or maybe it's the ground or the sofa, or notice what it feels like when your feet, what does it feel like as your feet are in your shoes, your hands resting on your lap? The idea is to bring your awareness back into your body, back into the present moment. Oftentimes, what happens is, this is a crazy number, it's absolutely crazy, is over 60% of the time we spend worrying about the future, what we have to do, where we have to go, what's on the calendar, the grocery store, picking up the kids, making sure you take the dog out, the garbage out. It goes on and on. And then we spend time worrying, ruminating about the past. What didn't go well, what we didn't get done, what happened when, and all of those things that we believe were left undone. That leaves very little time for the present moment. And what's important to remember is that the present moment is where calm is because we're not worried about the future. We're not ruminating about the past. We're simply here, now, and in this moment. And when we arrive and as we're breathing, we dial down our nervous system and we cue calm. We're letting our body and our nervous system know that we're safe. Here's the thing, if you're like me, you've learned how to cope in a particular way. You didn't just develop a particular coping skill overnight. We've spent a lifetime of experiences learning from others how to cope in a particular way. We've made adaptations. Some of those adaptations haven't been as helpful as they could be, and that's okay. In the moment, we were doing the best we could with the tools that we have. But here's the thing, you can learn new tools, you can learn new skills, and you can retune, reset your nervous system. It just takes a little bit of work and a little bit of practice. So, something else that I want to talk to you about is just establishing the basics around treating our nervous system gently and kindly. And again, what we're talking about today is I'm Stacy Cook. I'm a licensed therapist. I'm recording both from YouTube and for YouTube and for TikTok. If you want to go to the link in my bio, either one on YouTube or TikTok, you can find a ton of videos that are going to help you learn how to manage your nervous system. It's going to help you to learn how to fall asleep faster. It's going to help you learn how to reduce anxiety, reduce overwhelm, to communicate better, to learn how to communicate with your own nervous system and to listen to your body. Listen, you know how to do this. I'm just reminding you, with the busyness of the day, with all that's going on, these are things that are easily forgotten. So check out the link in my bio. Follow me on YouTube. I have some longer videos there. Please follow, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. It just helps me to continue to put these videos out for you. Again, I'm a licensed therapist. I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and I specialize in helping folks to slow down our system and how to cope better with the external world. But the thing is that outside of us, things are going to happen. Things are going to go on. The car is going to break down. Something is going to happen at home. Politically, stuff is going on. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of things outside, external from us that we often allow to affect our internal state. I get it. I'm with you. I've done the same thing. And this is something I work on every day. Everything I share with you, I work on myself. But here's the thing, we can't control what goes on externally outside of us. But what we can manage is we can manage ourselves, what's going on in our inner world. And the problem is, it's just something we don't often tune into. And it's something that we don't feel like we have a lot of control over when really we do. And it's very easy to manage our internal system, to manage our internal world, to tune in to your nervous system and just to feel better. Just because things are haywire and going sideways externally, it doesn't mean that it has to shut you down, cause you to freeze internally. Again, when the external world pierces us internally, it can lead to so many problems that we don't need. We already have enough on our plate. When we're overwhelmed, overstressed, full of anxiety and exhaustion, it's a huge burden to our physical health, to our mental health, and our emotional health. I know you know this. Think about the last time that you were incredibly overwhelmed, overtired, exhausted, and you were trying to focus. Makes focusing, creativity, and thinking incredibly difficult. The reason is when we are in that place of fight or flight or freeze or fawn and complete overwhelm, there's energy going into that system to keep us safe. So things like logical thought, creativity, being present, that's out the window because our body thinks that we're in trouble. So that's where all the energy is going. And that energy is fueled by hormones and cortisol and stuff that over time really weighs heavily on our body. And that's why I'm sharing this with you today. So if you'll please, if you hear anything that resonates with you that can help you manage anxiety and stress and overwhelm, please hit that heart button, mash the heart button, share this live. If it's not helpful for you, please feel free to share it with somebody who you know, who you're close with or connected to, who could really learn a lot from or take advantage of how to better manage stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. There's simple things that can be done. And I'm really depending on you to help me share the word and particularly to empower those of us who have been feeling heavy and have been feeling overburdened, that there's another way, that there's a better way for you to feel better, to be more present in your relationships, to be more available to those that you love, and to feel connected again. When you're overwhelmed and when you're in a place of just high, overly emotional, overly anything, too much of anything makes it very difficult for us to be present and available in our relationships and in things that require our true attention and presence. It's just simply not possible when you're that overwhelmed and you're exhausted. So please share this. Let me know in the comments if you have a particular question about how to manage your neurology, how to feel better, how to feel more joy, how to feel more happiness, less anxiety. Here's the thing, when we can fill our bank account, our mental and emotional bank account with goodness, with things that are positive, that feel good, that make us laugh, that bring us joy. It really helps to balance that scale for us when things are coming at us. Here's the thing, you can build resilience, and resilience is something that you actively do. You're not simply born with it. You do resilience. So by talking to others, by connecting, by sharing, by tuning into your inner world and making those changes to feel better, that's the stuff. That's the stuff that helps you to emotionally, mentally, and psychologically to be present and to feel better. And there's other basic, there's a million things that you can do, and I'm going to be sharing them with you via live. And again, you can go to my profile on YouTube or on TikTok and learn tons more. I have a library of videos that you can watch, that you can learn from. They're really quick and easy. This is not rocket science. This is stuff that you can learn in, you could practice a couple of times and you can pick up these tools. Now, what's important is that these tools become a part of you, that you practice them and you can do them while you're on the go, while you're on the move, simply coming back to breath and grounding that we talked about earlier. These are things that you can do right here and right now. Anytime it's available to you. What's important is that you do practice coming back to this moment, grounding, feeling the ground beneath you, feeling what's in front of you, simply feeling your hands resting wherever they are, in the arm of the chair. Maybe they're resting on the table in front of you or even on your lap. Simply noticing where you are in space and feeling what it feels like to be supported physically. You just need to notice. You don't have to think too much about it. You just have to notice. And that brings us back to this moment, to the now. And that's what drives down anxiety, brings down overwhelm. It begins to calm our nervous system. This is the beginning, but it's simple stuff that you can do anytime. Feeling your feet on the floor or in your shoes, feeling your back supported by the chair behind you, or the bed that you're lying in, or the couch, or maybe you're lying on the ground. And by the way, if you're in an environment where it's warm enough, dry enough, safe enough to be outside and to take off your shoes and to put them in the grass or in the dirt or to even lay down and simply connect with the earth and just let go a little bit. We spend a lot of time wound very tightly with all the stuff coming at us. We're in a tight protective mode. Check out your shoulders right now. Are they up high or are they loose and hanging low? How's your jaw? Is it tight? Is your tongue plastered to the roof of your mouth? You have tension in your neck? If you do, you're not alone. We're all wound a little tight. The world demands a lot from us. So if you're able to go outside, take off your shoes, sit down in the grass, if it's warm enough, dry enough, safe enough, at least to feel the ground supporting you. That's just a way to surrender, to simply let go. There's nothing in that moment that you have to do, that you have to control, and there isn't anything you can do wrong. We need so many more of those moments. This is one that you can create for yourself anytime. Even if you're driving in the car, if you can kick your shoes off, if that's legal in your state. Feeling yourself, feeling the steering wheel, feeling whatever you're holding on to. Something as simple as if you're in a meeting or you're in a place where you need to be discreet and you have a pen or you have any object, is just to allow yourself to notice what that object feels like. That's it. It takes you, if you do it right now, whatever happens to be in front of you, if you're safe and you can do that, when you're focusing on what you're touching and feeling or smelling and seeing, it brings you to right now. What that means is you're not worried about the future and what you have to do, what's waiting for you, what's going on, and you're not ruminating about what you needed to do, what you didn't do, and what went wrong. You're in the here and now. And again, that's one of the keys. It's a gem to be in this moment. It immediately cools down your nervous system. It cools down anxiety. It cools down our system in general. And after you have had a moment like that, you'll feel the tension release in your body. It's not going to completely go away. If it does, fantastic. But we're talking about shaving the edges, shaving rough edges. That can make all the difference in the world. And we need relief. You need relief. Trust me. You'll have better conversations, better relationships. You'll feel better. You'll hear things and process things differently when you're in a calm, rested, and peaceful place. And you can get there. I have many, many clients who believe that they can't get there. And here's the thing, you've gotten familiar with being overwhelmed, overworked, in overdrive all the time. It's taxing, it's exhausting. You can also learn to get used to feeling calmer, feeling more joy, feeling more connected. It simply takes time and it takes practice. And again, as a reminder, I'm Stacy Cook. I'm your licensed therapist. And if you would please hit that like button, share this live if you would. If you know somebody in your life who could learn something about calming their nervous system, managing anxiety, feeling better, and finding joy, please share this live. Please go to my profile, click the link in my bio. I have a ton of videos for free. You can watch, you can learn. They're tools that are easy to adopt, easy to use, and they really work. Everything I present is evidence based, meaning it's backed by science. You can measure this stuff. So please share. I am live on both YouTube and TikTok. If you go to YouTube, you can see some longer videos. Again, all free. This is all stuff that I use as a licensed therapist and also as somebody who has had an anxiety disorder my entire life. I use all of the tools that I share. So, understanding that we're all different and we're all individuals, and some things may work for some and not others. That's why I've got a variety of things that, depending on what's going on in my life or with my clients, I'll use one tool and I maybe won't use it again for a while and then I'll go back to it. But here's the thing, they're available to you. I want you to feel better. You deserve to feel better and you can. So remember, if you walk away with nothing from this live, but coming back to a full breath, a deep breath to let your nervous system know that you're connected, that you're in the now, that you're safe. Your nervous system is doing its job, but sometimes our neural Wi Fi is on overdrive and it sees lots of threats. So sometimes we've got to go back in to our operating system and say, wait, we need a little defrag. Hang on, that's not a threat. That's not a threat. And we just need to let our nervous system know by communicating with it that we're okay. So these tools aren't just simple fixes. These tools are to help you to communicate with your system, to communicate with your body, to listen to it. We listen to lots of sounds outside of us, lots of demands, lots of things going on. And something I'm working on, and I hope to help you to spend more time doing, is listening to yourself and listening to what your body has to say. And it does have a lot to say. We put it through a lot. So, the least that we can do is to listen to it, learn to communicate better, and to help our body to feel better. When our body is in a calm and rested state, our mind is going to follow. So it's very important that we slow this system down. So back to the basics. One, we talked about today, coming back to a full breath, breathing, getting oxygen to our entire system, taking that breath and allowing our body to expand. If you want and you have the time and you're in a safe place to do it, you can do some different types of breathing. Another type I'll leave you with is the 4-7-8 breathing pattern or box breathing. For instance, 4-7-8 is inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. Now, that can feel like a lot on the 7 hold and the 8 exhale. If it does, just adjust it. Make these tools your own. But again, when you're thinking about your breath, when you're focused on where your body is, hands in front of you, rear end on the seat, feet on the floor, we're slowing things down. That's what the breath does. That's what the breathing does. And there's many other things that you can do. And I'll continue to come on and talk to you about these tools. And you don't have to wait for me. You do not. You can simply go straight to my profile on TikTok, on YouTube, and get as many videos as you would like. Give them a watch. The only thing I want in return is a like. And leave me a comment if you think something worked for you or it didn't, or you've tried something similar to it and it worked. Great. I'd love to hear from you. Here's the thing, when we practice these tools, I know every time I practice them, I learn something different. And I learn a lot from the people that I get to work with, and hearing from you. It's a fun process. And this is how we make the tools more functional. So, practice breathing, taking a deep breath. You can do the 4-7-8 breathing, you can do box breathing. But most importantly, come back to breath throughout the day, whether you're at work, you work from home, whatever you're doing. If you need to put it on a schedule, do that. Take time to truly take a deep breath and fill yourself, your cells, your organs, your soul, and your mind with oxygen. Take that time to ground, to get outside and see what's around you, to hear what's going on, and to feel the environment. Take some time to do that. Take some time to just softly reset your system. This is available to you. And thank you for tuning in. And I hope to see you again. Please like, comment. I hope that you'll share this live. You'll go to my profile and check out some of the videos. Again, I'm Stacy Cook. I'm a licensed therapist and hope to see you again. And remember, you deserve to feel better. And I'm a therapist and I'm here to help you to feel better. Thank you for tuning in and sharing this live. Just going to make sure I didn't miss any comments. I see a lot of people joined and then took off, and I get it. I get it. I'll come back and I'll continue to come back. And whether you're here for 30 minutes or an hour or a few minutes, and if you pick up something and you use it or share it, that's going to be beautiful. And it's going to help you and it's going to help somebody else. So thank you very much. Again, Stacy Cook signing off. I'll see you all again soon.